So, hey guys, today I was thinking, what is the meanest thing I could do to someone? And then I realized, just simply give them Acid Golem. So, how can we give our opponent Acid Golem? So, I want to do this in the dumbest way possible. So, we're not going to be using Geonator because, uh, I mean, we can use Geonator, but we simply don't need to. And that skips the step of us needing essentially to give our opponent a monster, which I mean isn't necessarily that bad of a thing to do. But by not having to do that, we can somewhat kind of increase the consistency depending on like how you're summoning something to your opponent's field. But just in general, the way we're going to be doing this, pretty simple. We're going to be grabbing Verte, going to be sending Branded Fusion. Branded Fusion is then going to be allowing us to send Albaz, then a light, which I mean, whatever, right? And we're going to be making, of course, if I can find it somewhere here. Doesn't show up as a related card. Alright, I guess. Albion, the Sanctifier Dragon, and then it's any light spellcaster, so I don't know, we'll go with Effect Valet. Sure. We might have like a couple of those in our list. And then we'll send this, and then we'll summon Albion the Sanctifier Dragon. Now there are other ways we can technically do this, but this is the simplest way, just using Verte to do this. So all that's left is pretty simple now. All we have to do is make an Acid Golem of Destruction. And that's only part one, I suppose. So Acid Golem is just any 2 level 3s, so we can do this with like P.U.N.K, we can do this with Goblin, we can do this with whatever essentially. So the primary thing that we have to worry about with Acid Golem is that it has the effect of you cannot special summon any monsters, and while this card has no XYZ materials, it cannot attack. It has both of these lovely effects here. So we want to prevent our opponent, of course, from actually using Acid Golem usefully, you know? So I would prefer if you could neither attack nor special summon any monsters, you know? With the Acid Golem, no attack, so I don't want you to run into my guys, and also I don't want you special summoning anything, honestly. So we'll be able to do this, right? So we'll just assume we're going to use the P.U.N.K package for this because, you know, the P.U.N.K package gives us a nice amount of bodies for this. So let's just put in the full P.U.N.K package for the time being. And then, I don't know, something like this. Sure. I guess we don't need necessarily Gabu here, but alright. So let's see, we start with Xiamen, normal summon Xiamen, adds Foxy Tune pitches anything. And then we can go ahead and special summon Sharkusai. Sharkusai does the fusion thing. And then we can go ahead and make our copy of, let's see. We can make our Sharkusai, or no, Rising Carp summons Ear Note plus another 3, so in this case we'll probably go with a wagon, and then we can activate the effect of Dragon Drive to draw us a card, and then with the wagon being sent with the Ear Note, we also get a search with the Jam Dragon Drive, and we can bring back a guy. So we'll just special summon back any 3, add the Madam Spider, also summon the Spider. And then there's our rank 3, and on our field we will have, in this case it should be Shirakusai, Madame Spider, and then Jam Dragon Drive. So at this point in time we're 1 body short from being able to make the Verte, and this doesn't fully meet our conditions. So all we simply have to do is to essentially summon Acid Golem and then remove the Acid Golem from our field. And then we just need to be able to make Verte. It's that simple. That's all we really need. So if we throw in like Terratops, that should get us closer. But as like a 2-card combo, if we have just one more body, we would be there pretty much. So that's pretty brutal, I guess. So Turtop, Daka Tomborg, and then we can technically just summon this, kind of wait on it a bit. But alright. If we want to get rid of the Acid Golem, one way is to simply negate the Acid Golem. So real fast, I want to see what Cleaver Genius says. You target one face-up card on each field. So this would require our opponent to control something, which is like a little bit annoying. But technically Cleaver Genius is a way for us to negate the Acid Golem temporarily, so we could link it off for like a Verte. So that's one way we could go about this. But making Cleaver Genius is kind of a pain, and then our opponent needing to control a guy. Not a fan of that. So we'll have to think of a different way then. Yeah, just a way to remove this would be fine, right? So, alright, we can keep things simple. Baron. We just make the Baron. If we make a Baron, we can pop the Acid Golem, and then we're simply able to do this. So how can I do this super effectively? Well, I got the idea. Why don't we use Therions? If we use Therions, it should be a cinch, right? We should be able to make Diablantis as well, technically. And then that could send the Lily Berea from our deck. And then it should be a cinch to have enough bodies. And technically, we can also summon back like a Therion card with Albion the Sanctifier Dragon here. With this effect, right? So if we give our opponent like the Acid Golem that we put in the graveyard by whatever means. Speaking of which, we can actually use Lily Berea to send the Acid Golem, which is a thing, Lily Berea's effect, but yeah. We can also Albion to summon back like Therion Regulus from the graveyard, which is just a thing we can do, I suppose. So that's pretty neat. So something like this would work, and if we need to make Baron, we have these guys which are both 7s. So we have that play as well. And then I think the ratios were something like this. And then we don't necessarily need the yugioh. Then we can just put in like hand traps, and we still have like a fine list, right? So we have Ash Blossom, Imprim Coldbite, whatever. There are a few other cards like you might like to have, but I mean, this is the gist of it. Let's do draw 5 simple cards. So here we have Therion Discoliseum and Extreme Session. And then we have Endless Engine or Gira System. So this hand's pretty cracked. So we can start with activating Discoliseum to add probably, I guess, either a P.U.N.K or a Regulus. Doesn't super matter which one we choose. I think I'd prefer a Regulus personally. So we add Regulus for later. Then we send the Endless Engine or Gira System with Foxy Effect, activate Extreme Session on top of the Discoliseum, and then we can, for next turn, we'll be able to Endless Engine or Gira System add back the Discoliseum. We don't have to actually activate the Argyra system immediately. It's probably better to leave it for the Therion Cross, which we will add later with the Lily Berea, so we'll just hold on to that. And then we get to draw, of course, with Foxy Tune effect. So now in hand we have P.U.N.K plus the Regulus, which is nice. And this is just going full wombo combo. So if we were to actually be playing around things, I think we would start off with Endless Engine Argyra system to send, I guess, Lily Berea. And then we would add Regulus with the Discoliseum and immediately summon Discoliseum to play around hand traps. That would be, like, preferred, but yeah, alright. Foxy Tune, special summon Xiamen. Xiamen triggers Extreme Session. Then we add Sharakusai with Xiamen, normal summon the Sharakusai. And then we can wait a bit, cycle through our card with our card's bit, and then Madame Spider effect to trigger the draw. And we wouldn't have the Gear Note at this point, so alright. Regulus we have one of, and we've already drawn into that. Or we would have added this. So, okay. We have infinite impermanence plus called by, and then we can make Diablantis to bring back a 3, right? Can we do that? Yes. Make Diablantis, bring back a 3. We just skip the wagon, right? That's what happens. So, where do our 3s come from, actually? No, we'll be short of 3, won't we? Did we activate Extreme Obsession's effect? No, we didn't, I guess. So are we short of 3 to actually do this if we make Diablantis? I guess we would be. So making Acid Golem, a bit rough with only one punk card in the hand. Well, one punk monster anyways. So I think this hand doesn't quite get there if we have like 2 punks. Or, yeah, if we have Terratop, that immediately gets us there to Acid Golem. And then we can just remove the Acid Golem with like either Lily Brea or Baron, which we can access with our like Punk and Therian cards. So it's not like 1000% consistent, but it's pretty much able to come up like every now and then, which is good enough for me. I don't think making this super consistent would be in my best interest, because deck does need to go second as well, I guess. So yeah, we'll call it here, I guess, and say that this is good enough. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video, where hopefully I have a less degenerate idea and a more fun like deck build idea. But let's be real, I'm just like, yeah, I'm building a lot of degenerate decks nowadays. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.